All right, 1 minute till my trade window opens up. Morning, Deontay, Seb. Oh, good to see you, Seb. Yo, what's up, G? Killed it yesterday, man. Thank you. Yeah, pretty good day. I think I lost the first one, won the next two, with a 4R as the next one of the next two. Good old green day. Hoping to end the week off on the same step. Oh my. That baby is not asleep. We'll figure it out. I got a notification on my phone that there was motion in the nursery, and it's him opening and closing his curtains. So it's the camera changing its light saturation. Goober. Looking short, ES. 57 cell stop. Got it. That's too wide. Probably. All right, 56.50, 10 points. 5556.50. Half R hit. So stop up to risk free. Up 7 points. I'm going to try to get this on options today. Wasn't able to get the big old drop yesterday. I'm going to take it on Qs. Finger on the trade button. 462 puts are loaded up.
Jesse, get out of my head.
Got it at 0.60.
47.
Ooh. You got him at 47.
Looking for a four bagger.
Yeah. Filled NQ short 208, 50 points. Let's break that 200 and just have a bloody old day. .74 on Qs. Taking some 20 on NQ. Stop loss up to prior candle high on NQ. CL driving like it's hot. I get stopped on top. I did. I got stopped on NQ. Still in ES. What is going on with CL? Let me check news today. No news. Just making sure that there wasn't anything fundamental there on CL. What's this look like? Okay. New 4 hour and 7 minutes. Hourly just went outside. Interesting. Out of the Q puts.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of PTSD from yesterday again. Just not getting in with normal position size on some of these better trades. That's kind of how it was yesterday. Not in the size that I'm wanting on these more probable trades.
And Anne-Marie just said in the chat, but rollover matters. So that could be some aspect of what we're starting to see here towards the end of the week is some of these.
Are we at all-time high on gold?
And, different types of
It sure looks like it.
chop that we may be facing as institutions, individuals roll.
I'd somewhat be interested to short gold on a 15 trigger.
Yeah, and we're starting to see it here.
Getting a pretty nasty wick here on NQ and ES.
This is an interesting level. I closed out that long.
Still in ES, not in Qs or NQ.
Maybe we see these 280s test again, but yeah, let's just watch this. That was like $100 or so. Maybe what? I wonder if that trader now faded me. That would be the worst, right? You follow him, you lose money. You copy him, you lose money. Screw this, he sucks. Let's fade him. Then he just catches a winner.
I mean, but you taking paper cuts for $100 losses on a, let's call it even if you had a $3,000 loss limit, it's very, very small. But if you're losing half of your drawdown in the day on, one fading Dakota trade, that is probably not a good use of your capital.
Well, I mean, that's the understanding. We see that in statistics all the time, right? When you're trading a strategy, you have to take the entire sample size. You have to take the entire in total your statistics. You can't just pick and choose, right? If you do pick and choose, the statistics are just inaccurate, right? Because if I know that I lose 70% of the time, and if you somehow miss that small percentage of the time that you do make money, then your statistics are just off, right?
Right.
That's the reality. That's why you don't copy people. Why am I trading micros? Keeping it small. I haven't seen anything I really like. And you can see, make and lose a lot of money, even trading micros. Plus, I'm running a show. Come on, guys. Get with it. And just like yesterday, I'll scale up if I see something good. But this is a mess. This is a mess. The markets are a mess.
It's so much easier to hold
No
runners.
clear direction. Lots of chop. We're going into rollover.
What'd you say?
It's so much easier to
Not
hold
looking
runners.
at anything
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah.
Plus, this is being copied. So
Not as Wixall.
if I'm in 2
Yep.
micros, I'm in 10. So that was a mini.
And
We
Q's
did.
still stuck in the 1 minute opening range, which is just crazy.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we went up and tested these 250s, 260, and now we're right back down to 240s.
Oops.
Well, let's see. We're 30 minutes in almost. Let's see if there's any change here at the top of the hour. I don't think we have any data or anything coming out here at 9 Central. No.
Oh man, here we go. Here we go back down. Man, I'm having so much fun, Nick. We have some fun stuff that I'll be showing throughout the day, and it's just hilarious.
It's just wild PA. And I said this had to be on Monday during fast markets. I hate rollover week to trade. It's typically one that if I do catch a good winner or two, I shut down my computer and go touch grass. Just because like sometimes it's if you're having a good day, you're having a good week, there's no point in doing it. Granted, we had such a good trading day yesterday that you could make a lot of money, but this is the roll week that I remember that's like ingrained in my in the back of my head that just doesn't give me a ton of confidence in any direction, any position. So get your points, raccoon it, and get out.
Raccoon it and get out. What is raccooning it, Nick?
Raccooning it. So raccoons just like to steal a bunch of trash, get quick, scraps and things like that. So I always think of it as a retail day trader in this type of market is a raccoon. You're scalping. You're trying to get points from the bigger players, albeit from their dumpster, from their trash can, and then you are running away with those points and not returning until the next opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I got in long again right here at 35. Got in long again at 35. Let's see. This is going to be another tight one. Let's see if we can make it a higher low, break back up into these 60s, and go test those 55s, 60s levels. In 6 micros this time. In 6 micros. Gonna have one. Let's see. Let's have another push up. Still not confident. I'm not loving these trades. So this just quick in and out. Just quick in and out for me.
Yes, still in the ballpark now.
Yeah, outside of that, I guess that low.
Finishing up this 4-hour candle, I'm looking to the downside on CL.
Just been chopped.
Get out a couple more there.
There you go.
And the last on that one. Come on. It's not going to give me the 50. Come on. One more push to the long side. Back into these 50s. Give it to me. Someone says Dakota's long bias is nuts. You should see my trading journals or my trading reports. It is. I mean, it works though.
I mean, I would still say for someone who's hasn't been trading that long, you probably should only be looking for longs. Like I would not recommend ever fading a trend day down looking for longs like I think you had success with last week, but I think you get bailed out a little more if you're looking for long only trades. Most days you'd be safer doing that most
Here we
days
go.
than looking for shorts. It's just much harder to hold a short in this market.
Market's still trying to hold this up a little bit. Keeps pushing us back up to the 250s and immediately reject. Rough market for traders.
And now we're rolling back over.
I'm going to put a sell stop at 220.25 for a 50-point stop. If this 5-minute candle goes outside bar, I'll be in. And then looking to get into CL short. I have a sell stop at 67.80, also for a 100 tick stop, because it's a 1-hour trigger on the 3-2. So those are what I have set right now.
It's bar coding. But if you look at the 100 tick chart, you can see it's a little bit more clean. And yes, I did just miss one now. I just missed that trade. Now you can see it's a little clean, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low. And you can kind of see it a little bit better compared to over here on the left-hand side on that 5-minute chart. It's just chop. So there is something to it. I don't recommend just solely trading on like a tick chart like this, because you need some type of a different time frame to see the bigger picture. It's like missing the forest through the trees, right? For example, the tick chart is the trees and the forest is a higher time frame. You need to use both. I really recommend using both. All right, I'm getting rid of that. They were just chop, 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 chop.
Yep. This is setting up for a very fun day. If you've already made points, this is where, like I said, just be smart, and it doesn't make sense to continue to get chopped up if you're already green. If you already have, let's say, a $200 winner and you're in a funded account, good on you.
Yep, I'm in long again from 61. This is gonna be. I'm gonna add if we do go up. Let's see if we could catch a breakout. I'm looking at this as a pattern: higher low, higher low, higher low. And let's see if we could have. We had a nice rally off of 190. Now we're kind of just consolidating right here. And for me, this play would be a break to the long side. Let's see if we can get these 280s, and then maybe to test the overnight highs. Overnight highs is what I would be looking for on this one.
Well, good thing I haven't gotten triggered into CL yet. Big ol' 3-bar there.
So, watching this. Still in micros. Not 100% confident in these trades, but if it works, I want to see us break out.
Dakota, as the chat has just pointed out to me, you and I missed the trade of the day so far, which would have been a short in the Dow.
What's the Dow doing? Is it just?
It just is melted. Melted from like the opening range high.
I could be interested in taking a 1-hour trade here if I don't get stopped out on ES for a 3-2 down.
All-time highs as well.
Yep, gold is it still make? Gold is. Oh yeah, look at that, another new all-time high for gold. Let me get an air horn.
There's something to that, Nick. There's something to that where you don't have to be stuck sitting here watching a messy market. There's always opportunities somewhere. There really is. So here I am. I'm in 6 micros again. Let's see if we get a push into these 80s. We're trying to break out. If not, I'm just going to bail on this one. See if it whipped me out. Let's watch it in this. Let's see if we can hold. Man, another whipsaw to the long side. We broke through those 68s and we're just failing. I'm not gonna hold on to that one. Yeah, see right there where we had nice resistance, popped open, popped above 76, and then immediate rejection. So ran liquidity and reversed. Messy. That a lot of times you would see follow through on that type of a move. Maybe follow through at least to these 80s. We didn't get it. We did not get that. Are you still seeing anything on your end, Dow?
No.
Good.
Oh, in the Dow, I haven't been watching, and I'm not the best or even really watch as a YM trader.
All right, got a failed 2 up, 2 down on NQ, but so far failed 2 down.
So you notice something there. Dakota and I saw the exact same thing, and it was the reason I hit flatten immediately, and it was the reason he basically limited in right at that price level.
CL looking like a 3-2 to the upside now. How far is that?
Actually doing this, yeah, I can't. I mean, even me, that was a single, quick, like 1 lot NQ trade there that I was just trying to get in and out of real fast. But to run like over, behind the scenes, to be analyzing markets while running the stream, it's just
Oh, we did go 2 down on the hourly and the 4 hour. Wonder if this is going to be back-to-back outside bars. I do have a buy stop at 68.57 on CL for a 100 tick stop. Or, sorry, probably about a 75 tick stop. I have a sell stop on ES at 45.50 for a 5-point take profit for 1 hour. Still have a sell stop at 20.25. I did not get triggered right there. It wicked right to that tick. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. Not even close on here. It's weird. Sometimes Top Step X, or I guess Top Step, will have a little bit, very rarely, but sometimes have a tick to, right now it's a couple point difference. This low was 221. 221.75, and Top Step X I'm showing 220.25. It didn't fill me, thankfully, but interesting. Navigating this, I mean, NQ looks disgustingly choppy, so I'm glad I traded ES, and I think I caught the one candle that had the nice movement. I got filled on CL. Uh, 68.56. I'm just gonna make this be a 100 tick stop. Oops, that is the opposite that I wanted to do. I'm getting a different average because I entered with more size than my stop loss. So give me a second and I'll alert it. I have a stop buy order if it would trigger. Hello, market, please trigger my stop buy order. All right, stopped out of ES, break even, canceling all orders on ES and NQ.
All right, make sure I have a stop loss. Two thoughts going through my head right now is adding for a break into these 80s, see if we can get the momentum into those 90s and a push above 300.
All right, I am not getting my fill on CL, so I'm just going to close this here for a tiny loss.
With the possibility of us rotating right back into this range. And so let's see. Don't like that we rejected so fast.
Looks like a 0.1R.
So far so good. I do like that.
So still green, of course.
Is that happening at Top Step X or Apex or
What's that?
not getting filled on CL?
It was Top Step X, but it was my stop market order was like right where price was, so maybe it's because it was too close to trigger, but I don't know.
Got it.
It was weird. I have a buy stop order at 68.60 on CL now. ES breaking to the upside. Filled at the same fill, 68.56. But now I have the right size and stop on. Looking short on gold. Minute and a half left on this 15-minute candle. Not interested in longs on ES or NQ yet. I will be, but filled on gold short. 2572.4 is my stop. And I'm going to do an I'll just do a 10-point stop. Short. Okay. Now to just let the trades run. Got the trigger on CL that I wanted there. My only concern with CL is that this hourly is already pretty extended. Pretty far from that low here, but the trade idea itself looks pretty darn good. No trade on NQ for me, at least for 5 minutes. Remember, 2-2 continuation is not a strat signal. So if you're taking any strat signals, it would be on the 1 minute and it won't feed into anything. So it could be low risk to reward. Just keep that in mind if you are trying to take this breakout high. Good morning, pal. Good to see you. Saw your chat message. Gold dropping, CL pumping. Trade's looking good. Ooh.
Any particular reason you didn't take the 2-2 reversal on the NQ?
Because ES was still in bearish market structure.
Okay. Since the 15 was, I think, a 3-2 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is a strat signal. But we broke market structure here and closed under this level, so I was expecting bearish structure to continue. We have higher high, lower high, or sorry, lower low, lower high, lower low, equal high, lower low. So bearish structure really just has me stuck in a bearish trade right now.
Okay.
But with the 5 minute changing to bullish, now we can start looking at longs. Plus, I think it was probably more. I think if that setup happens 10 times, 7 of those times we get stuck in the middle of this zone and then flush back down and break those previous lows.
Sort of a fake out.
Yeah, you know, if we ran out of steam down here, we couldn't hold under these 200s. We have to go up to go down, and that's the dilemma that we are tasked with figuring out: is are we going up to go down, or are we going down to go up? So if I'm leaning bearish, I'm not going to take bullish pullbacks, because ultimately I think that they're just grabbing liquidity to ultimately go in the direction I expected.
They're finding friends.
Yeah, finding friends. So in this case, I think we might have found friends in this 15-minute fair value gap. And again, you know, if you go on Twitter, I'm sure there's gurus out there who are like, I called this out 8 years ago that we were going to bounce off this fair value gap. But in reality, nobody really knows which fair value gap is going to be bounced off, because, you know, why was it this one instead of down here? I'm sure people have their own opinions, but I react to the rejection. I don't ever limit into fair value gaps. And so there was also a fair value gap right here that is now inverse. So the inverse fair value gap traders are probably taking that. But right now, if we do break this high at 340s, then we're targeting this 1 hour fair value gap, which is only 60 points away. So
Never good trying to catch a falling knife.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm really, really freaking good at finding the tops and bottoms of trends. And so if I were to enter long here, I'm sure it would be the very top of this push up. So I'll wait for a pullback, and then, if we're doing this and breaking out and then going back up, this is the area that I want to be in. I really, this is like my bread and butter right here.
Yeah, S-curve. Love it.
Yep. Get in and stop loss at the bottom of the pullback, and buying right before the breakout, so that if or when it does break out, it's pretty high RR.
Hey Jesse, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Oh, you're getting a call.
Sorry about that.
You're good. There we go, gold. Let's start acting right, huh? CL is more than likely the move is not going to happen until the 11 o'clock hour. If I had to guess, the 3-2 is what's going to shove us up. But sitting at break even right now. Got the 3-2 on the 15. That's why I'm still in the trade, but
All right, sorry about that.
You're good.
Okay, great. So I've been studying the options and stuff, and actually I took that's why I was away a little while. I've been kind of going over the strat in general,
Okay.
and I just have a few questions. So
Yep.
first off, you're using options just for your intraday plays, also like along with futures, or are you holding overnight, holding for a day or two, 3 days, whatever, swinging a little bit?
Yeah, I would say I would mostly be swinging. That's where my focus would be. I might have more volume on the day trades, but for options, I make more money on the swings for sure.
Oh, so you make
Typically,
more money.
yeah, because I
Okay.
I risk more money on my futures day trades than I do options.
All right. And your swings, I mean, are your entries are off what, the daily?
If I'm swing trading, yes, it's off of the it would go from the month, week, and then down to the day, and then some straters would want you to go down to the hourly and find your entry. But if I'm swing trading for like a 2 week period, so if I'm buying 2 weeks out instead of what I normally do, then sure, I would probably want to get a really good entry, so I'd drop down to the hourly. But for me, I'm buying contracts that are 30 to 45 days until expiration, so I don't really care about intraday drawdown. I don't even really care about daily drawdown. Um, I'm sitting on a lot of trades that are in drawdown right now, but they're for every trend. As I said a couple minutes ago, I'm good at finding the tops and bottoms. Now JPM's probably the only one that might be actually dead, but Bank of America, I trimmed. Things like Apple was a call, but if I'm looking at this price action and I'm in calls, I and this is a little pullback, like my contracts are down a good chunk, but we're gonna end the week as if the week ended right now, we would end the week with a failed two down, and then I would be looking for a bullish setup next week. So why would I close my calls? So I don't really care about the drawdown on the swings as much until the play's invalidated, and that's why I don't drop below the hourly, or sorry, below the daily most times.
All right. And if I remember clearly, you said that you do strictly the strat on your swings or your options.
Correct.
Nothing
Yep.
else.
Yep. Nothing
Okay.
else.
Right. Stuff in force. Okay.
Hmm.
Is just learning and probing. I went through the video you gave. I mean, it's tons of information, and I
Hmm.
realize that you in most cases you probably don't use all of it.
Correct.
I mean, you're not using all the Greeks and stuff like that.
Oh no,
I mean, right.
not
I mean,
really.
we'll do that stuff, but
Yeah,
I think it's not.
yeah. It's good to know, right? Because you don't. I would say the most important is probably the IV, but I don't typically look at any Greeks or IV on any swings because IV is really only high on the super volatile stocks because it's the implied volatility of the stock. Um,
Right.
and and so I don't really care um, how volatile it is like today. I care about how much it's going to move in the future. Plus, the big, the Mag 7 and stocks like those aren't going to have IV crush really on swings in my experience. IV crush really happens when you're trading earnings or news events and stuff. That's where like I learned about IV crush way back with GameStop when GameStop was going. It had that big push up, and then I bought puts because I'm thinking I'm a genius. And then GameStop goes down 40 points, but I lose money on my contracts because the implied volatility is incredibly high. Um, so like to be direct, most of the stuff you're learning you probably won't use, but you might, and so it's worth learning. That's kind of the
Right. Right.
the sucky part of it. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about like Vega. Really, I would only care about delta, theta, and gamma. So delta being for every dollar the price goes up, your contract's supposed to gain this amount of dollars or cents. And then gamma being for closer in the money. That's how we get the delta ramp up, which is why I buy out of the money contracts, because for every dollar it goes up, the gamma is added to the delta. And then theta obviously is the time value. But other than that, you don't need to know all the rest of the intricacies.
What kind of contracts did you just say?
I don't know. What kind of contracts?
Yeah, with the I think it was a Delta. You were saying some type of contract you only really buy. I don't know if it was Delta or Gamma you were talking about.
So delta is the price that's added to the contract value when price goes up. Gamma is added to delta when price goes up. So like say gamma is 4 cents and delta is 50 cents and Apple goes up $1. Well, for the next dollar, Apple is going to go up not only 50 cents, so it just went up 50 cents, but now Apple's going to go up 54 cents because gamma was added to delta. That's how I understand it.
It's funny because I really was just gonna ask if you. I don't think you have because I think I've gone through all your videos by now. But
Mm-hmm.
if I don't know if you're up to creating one on just strictly your options swing, the way you do it, your risk management, how long you keep them, you know, entries. Even are you? I mean, do you take in the money,
Never.
out the stuff like that? I'm learning these are stuff I didn't even know exist. To be honest with you, until this last week and a half or so. So
Yeah.
like I don't know if you could do a video on stuff like that, you know, on something like just your options swing, because I really want to add that to the day trading. Just
Yeah.
I think it's easier and would be, you know, you even if you have a bad day, you know, you still got your swings going and you still got other things going.
Yeah.
It's just yeah,
Yeah, I can definitely consider making that.
great.
Yeah, for at least until I get that made. Um,
Mhm.
really, I'm buying a couple strikes out of the money, and I'm more focused on. First of all, you have to have volume before anything else. You can't. You got to be able to get in and out of the trade, and if there's no volume, then you can't get it in and out of the trade. So you got to have volume. And then so first filter for me would be the volume, and then second filter would be the dollar cost, because I want to buy multiple contracts. So I'm not. Let's say that I have $1,000 I want to spend. I'm not going to buy one $1,000 contract. I'm probably going to want to buy 10 $100 contracts.
Okay.
And also, the closer in the money you are, the more linearly the option runs with price, because delta, once it is in the money, delta is 1. So for every cent that the underlying moves, your contract is going to move 1 cent. That is why once price is in the money, I either decide to hold to expiration or I decide to cut, because there's no benefit to me holding. I might as well just buy the underlying. And so that's the two pieces there are, you have to have volume on the contract, and then you have to decide how much you want to spend. But other than that, the risk management. Oh my, what in the world is going on right now? There's got to be a headline. Does anybody see one? That's a 100-point candle, is it not? 100-point 1 minute candle.
Yeah, I tweeted short. That's why.
Oh yeah, you big whale, you.
Nice.
Oh, it's so funny. Listen, it came to my level. I slammed my shorts.
Yeah, but that volume candle was 3 times the volume of the previous 1 minute candle. And why didn't gold or oil reverse like that? Well, I'm just seeing TA. I'm not there. There's no headline on financial juice. Oh, we were talking about buying contracts, risk management. Risk management is all dependent on your strategy. It's not dependent on. Sometimes you do money management, but it's more dependent on your strategy and when you feel like you've been invalidated on your entry. When your entry is no longer valid, that's when I would cut. It's not like when I'm down 40%, that's when I'm going to cut. Like my JPM, because of one day last week, or maybe it was Monday, is down like 80 something percent. And it's probably gonna. I mean, if I were a betting man, this is probably a dead trade. But I did just get a 3-1-2 up, so I could average down if it gets back up to enforce. But yeah, the money management side is all about strategy, and I think it should be like that for. Selfishly, I think it should be like that for every trade you take, because you don't want to get in and out of trades if it's not based on your technical analysis. Like I don't want to get into a trade just because I feel like it's going to go up or down, and I also don't want to get out of a trade because I've taken on too much heat. There's a part of a book called Trading in the Zone where Mark Douglas talks about how your emotions come into effect when you don't take into account that every trade's not a win. And so if you're trading like you expect to win, then those losers are inevitably going to be bigger. And so when I'm entering a swing, all that to say, when I'm entering a swing, I'm taking on the risk. My risk being that the contract goes to minus 100%. Now, I've probably had only a handful of trades in my career that have gone to minus 100%. But I want the technical analysis to get me in and out of a trade. And so that would answer the question about how to manage risk. It's all based on the trade itself anyway. At the end of the day. Mm-hmm.
Well, it does take some time. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've taken good notes. It's a video I've had to like. I'm watching it the actual third time now. The first time I just watched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
Which video?
There's a video you sent me. And it's like, boy, it's a video you sent me on options.
Oh, gotcha. From a guy with glasses.
Right.
Gotcha.
And very, very thorough.
Yeah.
That. I mean, he's using. I think he was using Weeble. I mean, he's not that much into the actual broker.
Right.
That he's using, but he does give information on that one specifically. But first of all, who do you use like for your swings?
Thinkers. It's now Schwab, and Robinhood.
Oh, and Robin. Okay, and I just noticed that TradingView has they do options there now. I don't know if you've seen that.
What?
Yeah. If you go to if you, on your yeah, you see it. You can do
Weeble.
You can do Weeble.
But is that options or futures?
No, there's options. Like months ago, they they released it.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah. If you go to your home, you'll see it there where they. If you go to your home page, I guess they'll show you like the platform they're using with it, or that they created for it. It's pretty cool. I was watching a video tutorial on it. You should check it out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I see that now on Weeble. Yeah, I've been a Thinkorswim trader since really the start that I traded options. I love the platform, and I love the customer service from TD Ameritrade. I haven't had any issues with Schwab either, but TD Ameritrade's that's where I have all my big accounts, and like and stuff. Robinhood is really just because I'm a sucker for that user interface. It's so beautiful, especially on mobile. The user interface on Thinkorswim is horrible on mobile, but at least compared to other platforms. So it really just depends. Weeble is a good mobile platform, but all of them do pretty much the same thing nowadays.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going. I'm working on finishing these trades on the daily. I'm doing the back testing.
Gotcha.
And I'm hoping that in the next maybe couple of weeks, I'll be ready to launch this option stuff.
Sure.
I don't want to rush it too much because it's not that the information is it's just new. Like I mean.
Yeah. Right.
So you want to get it in so that you're not, and you don't know what you're going to use yet fully.
Right.
I have an idea, especially based after our conversation. That's why I'm saying a video would be amazing, and I'm not rushing you on it, but I'm just saying it would be.
Yeah.
And their videos are very, very thorough for the most part.
Right.
So I know it would, and I'm hoping it doesn't come out too soon. I want to finish this video one more time and get some things, under my belt.
Yeah.
Before I even watch it, just so it doesn't push me into opening up an account right away and going. In any case, whenever you're ready, you can do one, and looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
But, I won't take up any more time today.
Yeah. No problem. Always enjoy helping out. Yeah, I will try to figure out how I would want to make that video. And yeah, I think it would be beneficial for a lot of people, especially.
Some newbies are gonna be watching,
Right.
So, yeah. I hate to put that type of pressure on you, man, but you're good. So.
I appreciate it. No, if it will benefit a lot of people, then I am all for it.
Perfect.
My whole goal is to try to get people to the level of, just any profitability, but if they can make some good money even on the side and without losing the money I guess I didn't have to lose it, but that I did lose on the way. That's my whole mission.
Well, I'm grateful for that. Trust me.
I second the option swing video.
Okay. Got it.
Just kidding. I mean, do what you need.
Just kidding, but also not kidding.
Yeah, not kidding. Kidding, but
yeah.
No, it would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, because I listen every day. I'm still trying to pick up what's triggering you, because I see a lot of setups on some, but I don't know what's making you pull the trigger on some and not on others. So.
Well,
But I mean, I'll get it as we pay attention to swing trading.
If you want to, you can go through my swings channel, and while we're on voice call, especially right now when we're not doing anything, and you can tell me a ticker and tell me a date, and I will go to bar replay and we can look through what I would have seen.
Your setups for these last ones, I just like McDonald's and PDD and MU and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I guess it's more of I can maybe tell. I guess we can look at the trigger of why you can take one of those, like
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's or something, right? Do McDonald's since that's probably got a lot of volume.
Yeah. So if you tell me the day that I like on the swings channel, if you tell me the day that I entered, I'll go and mark that out, and then we can look at what it could be. Because as far as futures go, I'm not going long on NQ here, and I got stopped out of gold and CL's back to break even. So it's kind of, I think this is probably the day. I would doubt I think if we were gonna make a big push, it would be right now.
McDonald's was September 3rd.
Okay.
At end of day. Looks like.
September 3rd. So I'm gonna try to look and not cheat.
Don't cheat.
Oh, that's a day before. Yes. So McDonald's was, I mean, right off the rip, a 2-1-2 down on the daily. Weekly is was a 2-2 reversal as well. Right now we're failed, I believe, but 2-2 rev, and then if I had to guess, 286. Yeah, at that moment, the monthly was a failed 2-up. And so right now my stop loss would be a break of last week's high, or would be right here on Monday's high, Monday, August 26th. So 292 would be my stop loss. And so now if I leave bar replay, we did go over that 2 days ago, but we're back down now. And so I would be looking for a weekly close over 292.25. And I see that at least on the weekly time frame, my risk to reward is pretty darn high, right? This is my risk up here. So if I go short, that's my risk. And really, this is where I'm targeting down here at the 265s. What options did I buy? I think that's a spread. Or no, it's the 270, isn't it? Yeah, 270 put. So that would be exactly why I bought that strike as well. So I'm actually looking to dollar cost average on McDonald's, especially because I think yesterday was a 2-2 rev. So probably a DCA tomorrow, or depending how the rest of the day goes today. PDD was an 80 put. I don't know when I bought, but I'm sure it was probably this 3-2 on the 5th. So stop loss would be, well, it would have to close a green 2-up for me to consider closing PDD. Oxy was, I believe, a 2-2 rev down on the weekly, and maybe a 2-2-2 on the daily. Nike is I'm looking at the 90 calls, which looks like a long way away. But it's actually not that far away on a weekly time frame perspective. Because
That's what I want to see on.
What's that? What do you want to see?
Nike.
Yeah, so Nike, what's the day?
We're pretty far away comparatively for the timing of it and stuff, like if we're just going to get killed by theta, but
well, you won't get killed by theta, really. We're over a month out. Theta ramp up really occurs so you have a ramp up from 21 to 14 days out, and then of course 14 days to when it expires is going to be a ramp up as well. But until that 21st day, theta is not as much of a impact as price action, which is part of the reason why I buy so far expirations I'm not speaking. By expiration so far out is because theta's not going to impact it as much, but the downside of that is the delta doesn't ramp up as much either. But when did I get in Nike? Let me look here. I got in on the, I've been in for a couple weeks. 827. Yeah, I bought up here. So we filled this gap and we're bouncing off this fair value gap. Nike is one that so my long leg is an average, looks like 223, and my short, and it's at 70 cents right now. So with a DCA, I would guess that I would be probably around the ballpark of 1.4, which means Nike would have to get to 91.4 for me to break even. And it has 4 weeks to do it. So, yeah, Nike's one that I'm not touching yet, just because we are filling the gap. If I were to have cut it, it should have been, obviously this is hindsight. It should have been when we gapped down here and broke this previous low at the 80. But again, $80, well, this price, $80.70 is only $2 away. And one daily candle from Tuesday was $2. So this whole thing can flip in one day. My downsides, it's not going to go much further down in value. The contracts won't, but it could go up in value much quicker. So Nike have
earnings is
October, right? Yeah, not yet, not an immediate concern, but if price doesn't,
well, it could be a catalyst to pop it back up there too. So
yeah, if price doesn't do something, if it doesn't start curling up, I'm not going to hold. Well, I shouldn't say that. If we just flatline the earnings, and I have the same value, I'm probably going to cut out of that. But if we do something like this, then I'll probably hold, or, if it goes down, I should be out of it. So really the only option is for it to go up. Yeah, it could be going for here, but let me make it a little prettier.
I came back and refilled this gap that it caused in August for some reason.
Yeah, random day in August, big gap. This one was earnings, but this one wasn't. Yeah, and we had a 2-2 rev today, so Nike I'll watch. Obviously all of these I'm watching. More JPM I'm the least confident on. Those are, I think, a 2.14 average price, and they're at 25 cents right now. Apparently some shareholder said that people are overestimating their earnings and overestimating how much interest they're making or something. Like, why would you ever say that to the public? And so that's what spiked a 20-point downtrend. So I think this is one that, and technically I can hold through earnings, but I probably will not. Who knows? It's 25 cents a contract at this point. My upside would be a lot greater than my downside, but I'm trying to set a good example of not holding until zero.
Because they want to buy more at a cheaper price.
Yeah, right. That's probably it.
Probably a big old hedge fund or something that wants to.
Bank of America, I trimmed and is now in drawdown, so that's a pretty net neutral trade. It looks like I'm down a little over 10% on the net P&L if I closed right now. But Bank of America kind of moved with JPM a couple days ago, and then has 2 huge bottom wicks today and yesterday. So that's not a close, at least for the near future. Baba's a tricky one. I was going to enter, now it's an outside bar. I was going to enter into leap calls. I actually did, and then closed them after one trim. because it had a massive pullback down. Baba over this weekly high at 85.80 would probably be the close. And then Apple lastly. Apple looks like my favorite one of all those. But that one's down. Looks like average is in the $3.40 range, and last is $1.18. So that'll be a DCA. Probably next week when it triggers the 2-2 rev up. Hopefully that happens. That's when I would be looking to cut. I guess I should update my gold trade. That would probably be smart of me.
Are you still in Apple?
I am.
Man, I wish. I need to get. I'm trying to grow my capital a little bit more, just so I can get into. Oh, once I get into positions, I just usually. I'm into only one contract at a time, just to
Gotcha.
lay it out.
Well, there's no problem with that. I mean,
Nope.
you definitely can grow. Just as you're if you're only doing one contract, my biggest encouragement would be to make sure you're trimming at what your average loss would be. Don't trim at the 10% profit target if you're willing to take 40% heat.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've just been trimming at that 20% or whatever. So
Yeah.
Like the losses are probably about 50% or so.
Yeah, so I would. It's tricky with just one, but yeah, obviously with swings, my risk to reward is because I'm trimming more. Obviously, when you trim, you don't have as much position on the later trims, so the risk to reward metric is actually lower than what it net is. But yeah, if you're at a 50% loss, I would say, well, you only need a 66% win rate, 67% win rate to break even there. But I think if your average winners end up going past 20%, then I would probably encourage you to look at holding longer. But I know it's hard when you're seeing profit on the table to not take it.
But also, it's all relative too, right? Because 20% of one price, like we're getting into options now. It's not like it's futures where it's all the same price and cost. It's
right. Oh yeah, you're buying different contracts.
It's gonna cost me $200, but
right.
Cost me, you know what I mean? So it's like.
Yeah, you got to keep the capital similar to keep the risk to reward similar for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I'm still doing one contract no matter what size, right? So.
Right.
That I'll play with later, but yeah, I'd like to get to a point where I can do 2 or 3 and just do it in stages, especially on swings. Are you doing it in like almost like 4 stages, right? 550, 7500. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
On swings it depends. On swings I would say I'm probably more like 20. Oh, you mean percentage of contract trims?
Well, yeah, like how many tiers of actual like.
And to sell $70 billion.
It depends on the contracts. Yeah, if I'm buying 20 contracts, I'll hold runners for longer. And how much they are. Like if it's a 50-cent contract.
Stages almost like you do with your queue of like, okay, you take one off at your first time to take profit trim. Your trim levels, I guess, is like 20%, right?
Yeah, I got you. So how much I'm trimming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necessarily that or what levels. I mean, I don't care because I'm not going to be able to match you on how much you're trimming. What levels you're kind of trimming at, like 20%.
Yeah, 20. See, on day trades, I can tell you for sure. Day trades is usually 10, 20, 40, 50, 100. Yeah. On swings, it's different because usually swings are gapping up or down. I'll usually take a trim at about 20%. Yep. That's my first. And then usually I'm just holding to 50 and then it's based on TA more than options premium. For swings. Swings is unique in that manner. I'm going to take some of CL off at 60 ticks. Let me get caught up on the YouTube. We are moving up on CL, NQ, and ES, still stuck in that range from overnight. But that is it for me. Do we have any last questions here? An idea for the options video, please add how you organize yourself from the alert or analysis. Please add how you organize yourself from the alert. How I organize myself from entry to exit. Maybe I'm not understanding. That would probably be more of a strategy video than it would be like actual strategy than how I trade options. Which, saying it out loud, I know probably doesn't make sense, the differentiation, but like that might be a strat video, not how I use strat for options video. Maybe you can reword that. Maybe I'm not understanding it. Abina, what do you look for at the bottom or top of a pullback? What signals are you looking to spot if price does pull back and then continues to the upside? Well, it's all based on strat. I'm looking for reversals after pullbacks. I'm not really trying to time the exact tick of the top or the bottom. That's going to get you in trouble. And then Deontay asked if SPY is going to test pre-market high. I don't know what SPY was. What was SPY? Well, I can tell you ES. I don't know about the high. I would be surprised if we take out the one at 55.75 on ES, then maybe. But there's part of me that wouldn't be surprised for us to have one of those days where price randomly breaks out at like 132, but I'm going to end the day green and not going to sit and watch this more than likely chop. If it comes and does something in power hour, then maybe I'm interested, but that's also outside my trading plan. I think the downside has a lot more room to go than the upside right now. That's my main point. And this looks bullish to me. Okie dokie. Well, no more questions. I will find some time, probably next week, to make that video. Maybe tomorrow night. We'll see what my wife has planned. But I will try to get that out as quick as possible. Or maybe we'll do a live lesson where I record it, kind of like I usually do for my YouTube videos, so that we can have Q&A after. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Alrighty. Well, as far as trading goes, still in CL. I actually got the 1 hour trigger, the 3-2, so this should go for 1 hour at least from a technical standpoint. But that's it for today.
Everybody set their rosters tonight. There's a game tonight, remember? I always forget.
Oh, on Thursday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, everyone set your fantasy football roster. Someone tell Squire that guy has Jordan Love still starting. He was notorious for not setting rosters last year.
Yeah, somebody sent me a trade request for like 100 FAAB.
Uh-huh.
What is that?
It's how you put waiver wire claims.
Oh, okay.
So everyone gets a budget, and then it's highest bidder for that player, and you have a budget for the whole year.
Gotcha. I didn't even see where you have like an amount of money or something on there, but that's cool.
Bill, I don't understand rev strats. Technically, you get stopped out before a rev strat, right? Then when the rev strat initiates, you get back into the trade. I'm not understanding. For futures, I definitely, well, now that I've moved to 50-point stops, I usually I'll have a like my reversal will be invalidated before I get stopped out. When I was using 20-point stops and definitely 10-point stops, I was getting invalidated. I was not invalidated before it hit my stop loss, which is why I switched to wider stops. So as far as technically you get stopped out before a rev strat. So as far as that goes, I would say it depends on your stop loss size, and you should adjust your stop so that you're getting stopped out when your strategy says that you're invalidated. That should be a universal truth, no matter if you're trading trend lines or EMAs or whatever. You should have a stop loss so that when your trade is invalidated, you are out. That is the whole point of a stop loss. I think as traders, we kind of get numb to what a stop loss is. A stop loss is for you to stop losing money. And so, use it. Stop losing money. Can you show us a rev strat example? Sure. Right here on ES, a 2-2 rev. 2 down, 2 up reversal. And then I have a video on the strat that would be beneficial to watch as well if you don't know what a rev strat is. That's why I make videos, so that people can go through and learn for free. I don't have any educational content that is premium. To learn is free. Now to trade with me is not. But that's hopefully so you make more money too. But to learn, I think everybody should be able to learn for free. I learned mostly for free. And ironically, the courses I paid for actually were the least influential in my trading. So if that tells you anything. Now, there are some people who run like mastermind courses and stuff. Those are good. But unless they are vetted people, I will never, ever recommend people to buy a course ever. Learn for free. YouTube's awesome. Alrighty. Well, no more questions. Thanks, man. Oh, you're welcome, Bill. No problem. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to DM me. Y'all know where I live. On the cord. Alrighty. I love y'all. I will see you here soon.